Hello students, Bindu Chaudhary welcomes you in your social science class. Today we are covering our chapter 5th. The name of the chapter is Industry and we are covering its third part. But before covering it, let's recall the previous ones. Yes, we are talking about the different types of industries based on the sizes, based on the ownerships. And when we are coming to the sizes and ownership, then we classify them into the small scale or large scale industries. Again, when we are talking about the ownership purpose, then again we classified them into the private sector, cooperative sector and public sector, etc. Here in this part we are covering about the different types of industries, especially steel industry. Yes, in this part we are covering iron and steel industries and different states or countries where all these industries are located and further going on. So, here it is the starting of iron and steel industry. See, like other industries, iron and steel industry too comprises various inputs, processes and outputs. Yes, everything. The main process is the input process, then process and in the last output is there. When we are talking about the feeder industries, this is a feeder industry whose products are used as raw materials for other industries. So, these are only the feeder industries and these only and only uses the products and all these raw materials are used by other industries, not by these itself. Okay. See here the inputs for the industries includes raw materials such as iron ore is there, limestone is there with coke and labor, capital and main thing sites and other infrastructures are needed for the inputs method. Then what happened? When we are taking the next step of processing step, and in this step the process of converting iron ore into steel, it involves many stages such are these ones. See, blast furnace is there, hot air is coming, slags are there and see molten iron is there. So, this one is the iron ore to steel in a blast furnace. It's a process here when we are putting these raw materials in the blast furnace where it undergoes in the smelting process. So, in the processing smelting process is also there, and when we are talking about the refinery, see, it is then after processing, after smelting it is refined and the output obtained is steel, which may be used by other industries as raw materials. So, this one is the process, input process, and in the process again we thought that these processes, smelting is there, refining is there, and with the output itself is a raw material and that raw material itself used by the other industries. So, the concept is clear to all of you. Steel is tough and it can easily be shaped, cut or made into wires. So, this one is the tendency of steel. It's okay, it is tough, but it easily be shaped into the cutting portion, shaping portion and into the wiring portions, etc. When we are talking about the special alloys of steel, special alloys of steel can be made by adding small amounts of other metals also such as aluminium, nickel and copper. With the help of aluminium, nickel and copper, we find some special alloys of steel. See, alloys gives steel unusual hardness, toughness or ability to resist rust. So, these alloys, by adding these small amounts of these alloys, maybe of aluminium, maybe of nickel or copper, these alloys in the steel unusually hardness, toughness or ability to resist rust gives, and it is the main purpose of adding these alloys. See here, steel is often called the backbone of modern industries. So, what is called the backbone of modern industries, students? Yes, steel is called the backbone of the modern industries. When we are talking about the everything we use is either made up of iron or steel or has been made with the tools and machineries of these metals. So, all this is the process when we are talking about shapes, when we are talking about trains, trucks and autos are largely made up of which material? All largely made up of steel. Students, see here is the process. 8 tons of coals is there. This one is the coal and here is the 4 tons of iron ore. And when we are talking about 1 tons of limestone and 1 tons of steel. So, with the mixture of 8 tons of coal plus 4 tons of iron ore and 1 ton of limestone, we get 1 ton of steel here. So, this one is the manufacturing process of steel and here this one is the finest position how in the industry this process is going on. See, when we are talking about the safety pins, yes, safety pins your mother is using and you also using in different works. So, even the safety pins and the needles, yes, needles mainly stitching process, sewing process, all these process needs needles. So, these are useful for us and all these are made from steel. We all know that if we are using a small pin or a needle, everything is made up of steel. When we are talking about the oil wells, yes, oil wells we are talking students, oil wells are drilled with steel machinery. जब हम बच्चों कहते हैं कि तेल के कुओं की खुदाई हो रही है तो उस समय भी जो ड्रिलिंग प्रोसेस है उस ड्रिलिंग प्रोसेस में भी व्हाट इज यूजिंग all these are drilled with steel industries or steel machinery process. Here see steel pipelines transport oil, not iron pipelines. So, rusting is there. So, steel pipelines are using only for the transportation purpose of the oils. When we are talking about the minerals, minerals are mined with steel equipments. So, the concept is clear to all of you about the steel, about the different alloys added in the steel, and steel industry itself produce raw material for the other industries also. Okay, everything is clear to you. When we are talking about the farm machines, yes, different machines used in the farm, they are also mostly made up of steel. When we are talking about the large buildings, all large buildings have स्टील फ्रेमवर्क. आपने कांच की बिल्डिंग्स देखी होगी बट उनमें ज़्यादातर जो काम है आउटसाइड, देखिए जो बिल्डिंग्स में फ्रेमवर्क इत्यादि का काम होता है बच्चों, वो किससे बनाया जाता है? ऑल दीज आर मेड अप ऑफ स्टील. स्टूडेंट्स, व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द before 1800 AD situation of iron and steel industries, what things were suitable on that time? See here, all these iron and steel industries was located where raw materials as well as power supply and running water were easily available. So, these were the conditions of that time, and on that time all things were easily available. Only on that condition iron and steel industries was located on that side. See here the situations in different years or eras. See, first one is the best location from 1800 to 1950. Here is the second point. When we are talking about before 1800, just before 1800 AD we are discussing here. So, the best location before 1800 AD is this one, and when we are talking about 1800 to 1950, in between 1800 to 1950 students, these were the best locations. But when we are changing since 1950, yes, since 1950 the best locations are these. See the changing location of iron and steel industry. Here you know the transportation, the river facilities, everything are there. So, these are the main points to be in the consideration when we are talking about the ideal location. Again, different locations are there. Maybe when we are talking about before 1800, maybe when we are discussing about between 1800 to 1950 and 1950 and further going on. All the things are changeable. But the best location when we are talking about the ideal location, student, the ideal location for the industries was near coal fields. Yes, this one is the ideal location and close to canals and railways. It means transportation is there, water is there, and special thing, coal mines are also there, and only these are the ideal locations for the setup of the iron and steel industries. Yes, after 1950, iron and steel industries begin to be located on large areas of flat land and near about seaports. It's okay, flat lands are there, but all these lands are near about seaports. So, transportation facilities are there and it is easy to take the items from one place to the another place. So, these one are the ideal locations. When we are talking about the cause behind it, see, this is because by this time steel works had become very large and iron ore had to be imported from overseas. See the situations here, because on that time iron ore had to be imported from overseas and others. So, this one is the real reason behind the situations of the near seaports. जब भी हम सी पोर्ट्स की बात करते हैं बच्चों, हम क्या कहते हैं कि इंपोर्ट करने में हमें इजी रहता है, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर जो इंपोर्टिंग होती थी वो कहाँ से होती थी, ओवरसीज से ही होती थी. व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग स्पेशली अबाउट इंडिया, in India, iron and steel industry has developed taking advantage of raw material as well as cheap labor as well as transport and market facilities. So, everything are considering, everything is here for the matter of consideration, that where these idle steel and iron industries located. And when we are talking about India, these are especially under these circumstances. See, all the important steel producing centers, we have all the steel producing centers such as Bhilai, Durgapur, Burnpur, Jamshedpur, Raurkela, Bokaro, all these are situated in a region that spreads over 4 states, and these 4 states are, first one is the West Bengal, second one is Jharkhand, third one is Odisha, and the fourth one covers Chhattisgarh. So, all these steel producing centers are near about in only and only in the 4 states. It means West Bengal, Jharkhand, Odisha and Chhattisgarh are the main hubs for the iron and steel industries. When we are talking about Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in Karnataka, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Salem in Tamil Nadu, these are also the important other steel centers utilizing local resources, and with all these local resources, these centers also produce steels there. See, this one is the world's map, and when we are talking about the major iron ore producing areas, so here are the major ore producing areas all over the world. And when we are talking about all these things, these covers the industries in all over the world. When especially we are talking about India, and India, in India there is this region Jamshedpur. See here, before 1947 there was only and only one iron and steel plant in the country, and that's name is Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, TISCO, and this was established by Ratan Tata and one of the geologists, because they searched from one place to the another place, from one forest to the another forest in search of iron ore. And when they saw a tribe, ladies and girls, and they were taking baskets, and then that baskets iron ores, rocks are there, and they were very surprised from all these things. And here the establishment of before 1947 we got a result in the form of TISCO. When we are talking about Ratan Tata, son Dorabji Tata, then what is the main thing here? See, it was privately owned. Yes, private sector industry is TISCO here. And when we are talking about after independence, the government took initiative and set up several iron and steel plants. When we are talking about TISCO, TISCO was started in 1907. It means before First World War. It had Sakchi near the confluence of the rivers Subarnrekha and Kharkai in Jharkhand. So, this TISCO covered these two rivers, Subarnrekha and Kharkai in Jharkhand, and all these near about Sakchi. Sakchi location is there, and it was established in the year 1907. When we are talking about the Sakchi, later on Sakchi was renamed and renamed as Jamshedpur. So, what is the first name of Jamshedpur, students? The concept is totally clear to all of you that the first name of Jamshedpur is Sakhi. When we are geographically considering Jamshedpur, then we find that Jamshedpur is the most conveniently situated iron and steel center in the country, because it covers fully river portions also, fully labors also, fully raw materials also. Sakchi was chosen to set up the steel plant for several reasons. Yes, several reasons are there, and the main reasons are, considering with this one, the first one is this place was only and only 32 kilometers away from Kalimati station on the Bengal Nagpur railway line. So, connectivity is there. Only and only 32 kilometers is not the big journey, and railway facilities, it means proper transportation is there. It was close to the iron ore, coal and manganese deposits, as well to Kolkata, which provided a large market to this industry. So, everything is available here, and only for that purpose Jamshedpur was the main center in the year 1907. We find some other things also. See, major road lines are there, and these road lines are indicating from the blue lines. Availability, see the availability of the transport facilities. This one is Sakchi, this one is Tata Steel Works, this one is the other golf course, Jamshedpur Airport, Kadama, Zilian, and Kharkati river is there. When we are talking about railway lines, when we are talking about different railway lines, see, this one is the Tata Nagar railway station. So, here transport facility is very much available, and only for this reason TISCO needs to be established on that time. And all the things Dorabji Tata had found out on that time is the availability of raw material, as well as transportation, as well as labor and water supply, power supply, etc. TISCO gets coal from Jharia coalfields and iron ore, limestone, dolomite and manganese from Odisha and Chhattisgarh. See students, all these things are necessary for the made-up of steel, and all these things available from near about the states or region. When we are taking coal, coal was easily available on that time from Jharia coalfields. When we are talking about the iron ore or limestone, dolomite, manganese, everything needs to be collected from Odisha and Chhattisgarh. These are the main hubs for the purpose of the minerals. So, everything is available here. when we are talking about the Kharkai and Subarnrekha rivers ensured sufficient water supply to TISCO. So that is the main reason why TISCO was established in that situation, because everything, raw material, water, power, manual labor, everything is sufficient for the preparation of steel. And government also taking initiative by providing adequate capital for its later development. Before this one, nothing is there, only private sectors were going on, but after that one, government also took initiative, and from all these provides adequate capitals to the developments of the iron and steel industries. When we are talking about Jamshedpur, in Jamshedpur several other industries plants were set up after TISCO. Not only TISCO is there, other industries are also set up by government or with the help of government, because government took initiative and government provided adequate capitals to the sectors for industrial purposes. See students, these industries produce chemicals, locomotive parts, agricultural equipment, machinery, tin plate, cables and wire. It means lots of industries are there, and all these industries made up different things for the production of the chemicals, for the locomotive parts, for the purpose of the agricultural equipment, for the purpose of the machinery, tin plates, cables and wire. So everything is available in Jamshedpur. When we are talking about the development of iron and steel industry, this industry opened the doors to rapid industrial development in India. So by the steps of the Rabji Tata industry, especially TISCO, was established in the year 1907, and after that government took initiative and several other industrial things are also going on, and other industrial companies also developed, and we got many things from this one. So industrial developments are there in India. The concept is this one, that industrial growth is there when we are talking about other sectors of the Indian industries, especially depends heavily on the iron and steel industries for their basic infrastructure. It means in every situation or in every other sectors, every sectors needs iron and steel, and all these infrastructures they needed was collected by this industry. So iron and steel industry is the main industry for the purpose of the all sectors. When we are talking about the Indian iron and steel industry, it consists of large integrated steel plants as well as mini steel mills. It means we have both mini steel mills as well as large steel plants for the purpose of different producing things, and for the purpose of the large infrastructure we have both mini mills as well as large industries set up also. It also includes secondary producers. We discussed about primary producers, secondary producers and the territory. So it includes secondary producers. It means rolling mills and ancillary industries also. So here is the different things in Jamshedpur, and everything availability. The main factors availabilities are there, main factors which are responsible for the establishment of iron and steel industries by the government's initiative. Everything is available. When we are talking about all over the world, then Pittsburgh is there. Pittsburgh is another important steel industry or city of the United States of America. Yes, we are talking about all over the world. We had already taken Jamshedpur in India, then Pittsburgh in United States of America. The steel industries at Pittsburgh enjoys locational advantages. It means in Pittsburgh the locational advantages same with the Jamshedpur are so much beneficial for the production level. See, some of the raw materials such as coal, is available locally, while the iron ore comes from the iron mines at Minnesota, about 1500 kilometers from Pittsburgh. It means raw materials as well as coals and other things, iron ores, everything are near about in the availability positions. When we are talking about the mines, between these mines and Pittsburgh is one of the world's best routes for shipping ore cheaply, the famous Great Lakes waterway. So, here transport facilities are also there. In the Pittsburgh, shipping facilities are also there for the purpose of the shipping ore in a very cheaply rate. So, trains are also there. Trains carries the ore from the Great Lakes to the Pittsburgh area. So, see the covering of the transportation facility, the covering of raw materials, the covering of coals, everything are in a near about areas and everything are available. The Ohio, the Monongahela and Allegheny, these rivers provide adequate water supply to the industries. And when we are talking about the today's condition, students, today very few of the large steel mills are in Pittsburgh itself. Okay, when we are talking about this one, they are located in the valleys of the Monongahela and Allegheny rivers above Pittsburgh and along with the Ohio River below it. So, with the supply of water, these industries grown up. When we are talking about the finished steel is transported to the market by both land and water routes. It means transportation facilities not by the shipping process but by the land processes also. So, land as well as water routes are easily available for the transportation to the market. And when we are talking about the Pittsburgh area, it has many factories other than steel mills. It means not only steel mills are there, other than steel mills, other factories are also there. When we are talking about other factories use steel as their raw material. In the starting we had discussed, students, about the raw materials. Yes, steel itself is a raw material for the other industries. Same in the Pittsburgh, many other factories are also there which are depend on steel mills. So, these use steel as their raw material to make many different products such as railroads, equipments, heavy machinery and rails. So, not only iron and steel industries are beneficial, but other factories based on iron and steel industries are also the main supplier for the raw material. When we are touching all these things, see the different products in the other mills which are made up from steel. So, railroad equipments are there, heavy machineries are there, rails are also there. So, everything depends on iron and steel industry. We covered Jamshedpur in India as well as we covered Pittsburgh in the United States of America. Students, in the next part we will cover more about the chapter reading session. So, stay with us. Have a nice day.